of 2014. Very exciting. Sometimes people tweet really good Ask Meg topics to me randomly and they get kind of lost in the shuffle when I ask for questions when I'm filming. So I thought it'd be fun to go through the hashtag today and find some older questions. While I was doing that, however, apparently another Megan who uses Twitter uses the hashtag Ask Meg for questions, and she answers pregnancy questions. I'm not sure if that's all the questions she answers, if they're all pregnancy related, but somebody tweeted at her and asked how they get rid of the feeling you're going to wet yourself 24/7, and then she responded about something about having a baby. So I won't be answering that question, but I would love for someone to answer it for me because, God, I feel like I'm gonna wet myself 24/7. Ooh. Comedy. To kick it off, at Joy to the Raymer says, are there any fandoms that you're into that we would be surprised to know about? I've been pretty public about the things that I'm really into. When I was a teenager, I was obsessed with Gundam Wing and Dragon Ball Z and Sailor Moon, and I would read and write Sailor Moon and Gundam Wing fanfiction and Dragon Ball Z fanfiction. I never wrote in Dragon Ball Z fanfiction, but I definitely read a bunch of it. I was super into fanfiction. So that's why I think it's so surreal that people write fanfiction about me, because I was that person who was, you know, thinking about like what would this character think and you know, up at 2 in the morning writing Gundam Wing fanfiction that I hope nobody ever finds. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm putting this out there. It's a gamble. The only reason I'm putting it out there is because I have tried to find the fanfiction online and I know what I'm looking for and I can't find it. Maybe I don't want to put that out there. It's really embarrassing. At SFN Fangirl says, is there a time limit before it's acceptable to move in with a partner? When's too soon? Or a time when the ship sailed? I don't know what the end of that means. Oh, you mean like, and when's too soon and when's too late? I get it. I'm on board now. Ha! Sailed, on board. I make myself laugh. I don't like relationship timelines because it doesn't take into account at all how you feel about one another. It's all mathematical and cold and unromantic and bleh. I think you know when you want to be with somebody and you know when you love them and you know when you want to move in together, and sure, I think take it slow. For some people that works better. Some people just jump in. I don't know. Just whatever works best for you. If you feel it, be honest about it. I've talked in previous vlogs about owning your feelings and knowing that you are saying something because you feel it, not because you want the other person to say something. So I think moving in is much the same way. Saying, hey, I think we should live together because that's what you want, not because you want to hear them say they want to move in with you. Just putting it out there because that's where you feel like you are, that's important. I think a lot of people will be surprised to know that actually when I was growing up, I thought for a long time that I actually wouldn't live with somebody until I was married to them. But now I wouldn't marry someone if I hadn't lived with them. It's so different. I've never actually fully committed lived with somebody, but I spent enough time with someone in the same dwelling to you can kind of get an idea, and it's very different how people act when you're around a lot more of the time and you know you're there all the time. It's very different. It's a good way to get to know someone. I just think it's important because there's so many things that people do. I mean, how they sleep and how they keep their kitchen, and if they're messy or clean, if they're you know, a night person or a morning person, and if they have little habits. I mean, these are all the things that are going to be important if you're married to that person. So I definitely think you should move in before you get married. And I think whenever you're ready, I know that's a boring answer, but you know when you're ready, and I think timelines are bullshit. Dude, another Megan uses the hashtag Ask Meg. This is so weird. Weird. I have never seen this before on the Ask Meg hashtag. So weird. At Listdexic Lord V says, do you foresee studios ever going after cosplayers for copyright violation? So this is actually a really interesting topic because I do know that there are some bigger Star Wars cosplay groups that are very particular about when you can sell your prints, how you can handle the profits, things like that. And it's because I have read that in the past, Lucas actually came after cosplayers and supposedly smashed molds for stormtrooper outfits and for masks and everything else because they're actually copyrighted images. And now they're kind of tolerated. Obviously the 501st is huge, and they're allowed to make their costumes. But I think the rule is, and don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure the rule is with approval you can sell prints of your own cosplay work for charity. You're not allowed to sell them for profit. And they're pretty guarded about that because they don't want to incur the wrath of a big company again. I think they're just happy kind of flying under the radar and doing the charity thing, which is great. But it is a little touchy when you're talking about cosplayers who have put, you know, kind of their heart and soul into these costumes, and they're being told how and when they can sell their prints. So it is interesting. I think that's the most notable example, are the bigger Star Wars groups, but I've never heard of another cosplayer having anybody come after them for copyright. I think mostly companies are just stoked as fuck that people want to make their costumes. It's free advertising, and I think they're just happy to have men and women out there repping for, you know, their character designs and their games and their movies and everything else. So I don't know. I mean, they could in the future come after cosplayers, but I don't think it would be a very smart move. I think it would really blow up and people would be very passionate about it. And like I said, I think it's free advertising. I think people wearing your costumes, you see something cool and then you're like, whoa, where's that from? And maybe they'll go check out the game. So I think it's not worth going after cosplayers, but it could happen. Oh, this is a good one. I don't even know if I can answer this one. All right, here we go. At Stafford529 says, how can you tell if a person just wants to hook up or if they actually like you? Whew, the age-old question. I think that honestly, it's all about how you conduct yourself. If you're hooking up with someone and then not actually going out on dates or making any meaningful connection with them, I mean, you're kind of setting yourself up for that, right? So, you know, I think it's about courting somebody and about how you want to be courted. Some people don't want to go on dates. Some people just want to hang out at home and touch each other and do that, and that's their thing. But if you're somebody who's kind of questioning if that's all somebody wants, it's probably what's happening. I think usually in my mind, if I've ever had to question like, I wonder if he's actually into me or if he just wants to touch my toys, that guy was probably just trying to touch my toys, because the guys who aren't just in it for hooking up, or the girls who aren't just in it for hooking up, because it goes both ways, they make an effort. And I think that if you're just paying attention to that effort, and if you're giving them a chance to make that effort, then it'll be there. I think that there are some times, I've definitely had girlfriends that I'm like, give the boy a chance to show you that he's not just trying to touch your toys, because they're just so excited about it, they want to hop in and just, I totally believe you, but then they're like, I don't know, maybe he just wants to hook up with me. Give the boy or lady a chance to take you out and court you, and to court that person back. And if you're texting them and tweeting them or doing whatever you do, you crazy kids nowadays, and they're not reciprocating anything and they're just kind of trying to get in on the DL, yeah, find somebody else. Somebody else out there likes corgis and wants to marry you. And finally, at Ashton Hunter says, if you're not sure about a relationship, what are some ways/tests to know whether to break up or not? Oh, Hunter, my baby, how you doing? Doesn't sound like you're having a very good time. Personally, I think if you're thinking about tests or ways to figure out if you want to break up with that person, it's probably over. I think if you're not excited about somebody, if you're not in your double helix of harmony that we've talked about before, it's not working, you know, and that's okay. But I don't think that a relationship should be tested or you should do anything to like kind of figure out if you want to break up with someone. I do, however, think that if you break up with someone, that's it. Like, getting back together never works out. Don't ever do that. I mean, I don't know. The romantic in my heart wants to say like, okay, it's like The Notebook. She left. She didn't wait for him, which we can argue about all day, but then they got back together and it was super romantic. But in real life, I have found everyone I've ever dated that I've gone back to, no, not worth it. Should have moved on the first time. And so, I don't know, I'm just not into that whole like taking a break or taking time apart or any of that. It's just, it's over, and then I'll find somebody else and we'll have a double helix of harmony and it'll be fantastic. So, bottom line, if you're thinking about whether to test someone to break up or not, or if you're gonna do this, and if she chooses the red jelly bean, I'm totes breaking up with her, break up with her, because you're not that excited about her, you know what I mean? If you can think of yourself being without that person and it's not that upsetting, then I think it's over. So, yeah, that sucks, but move on, find somebody new, and you'll be happy. Yay, and I'll do this again, because it's fun. So guys, that's it for Ask Meg. Thank you so much for submitting your questions. I love doing these and I'm so excited to do them more in 2014. I will see you guys next time. Don't forget to keep submitting your topics, hashtag Ask Meg, and apparently if you have pregnancy questions or some other questions, you can hashtag Ask Meg too, because other people just using it now. Just a thing now. Now I'm being ridiculous. So submit your topics, hashtag Ask Meg. There's a P.O. box in the description. Like, subscribe, all that fantastic stuff, and I will see you guys next time. Heart you.